Huge Mason Mount upset to United. You can call it a hammer blow because the transfer has really held. The transfer of Mason Mount to Man United have gone ahead to deal a hammer blow. A huge hammer blow. It has dealt a huge hammer blow because of the amount of money that Chelsea has gone ahead to really request Man United. And what Fabrizio Romano told us yesterday is what I've brought in for you. Chelsea are not willing to negotiate to cut down that price. If United cannot get in that amount of money, Chelsea have told them, jog on, you know. So that's it coming in from Chelsea. It's a Mason Mount to United upset. Then Mario Goretzka, a player that plays in the midfield of Bayern Munich, is so much linked to Man United, something that most of you have to really know about. And we're going to let you know why this deal looks like is being pampered to see to it that it really gets Goretzka out of Bayern Munich to Man United. And lastly, we are going to discuss Casemiro. Finally, I was going to hate to predict Garnacho's ceiling that most of us really had already seen, and now the players of United have gone ahead to start to identify this player that is really special and is having special abilities. That is Alejandro Garnacho. So let's see close to 200 likes smashed on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is my name. Where should we start from? Let's start it off from Mason Mount, right? Let's first do this Mason Mount story. Now, the Mail reported yesterday that Manchester United believe Mason Mount also wants to join them from Chelsea if they can agree to lower the fee, but a simultaneous move for West Ham's Declan Rice is viewed as a difficult considering the finances required for everything they want this summer. So, Mason Mount wants to join Man United, but they want a fee to be really lowered down. That's what Chelsea is really coming in. That's what United is really requesting in from Chelsea, that if at all that fee is really lowered down, they can go ahead and really work on a deal to link Mason Mount to Man United. As I've already told you in previous videos, Man United are only willing to cash in for £50 million for the services of Mason Mount. That's it. More than that, they are not going to go ahead and really do that. But we all know why all this is happening. It's because we are having bad negotiators at the club of Man United, and we have always been referred to as a joke when it comes to transfer negotiations. You know, we are always ransomed, and obviously we do see ourselves pay skyrocketing prices through the roof, you know, and that is the ugly part of Man United. Now, has the tide changed at Manchester United after bringing in a new director of football negotiations at the club, that is Matt Hargreaves? We want to see on this deal of Mason Mount, because if at all we pay more than 50, God, it will be the same thing, you know, the same old song would have gone ahead to be put on repeat by the new director of negotiations. And that will let me know that it's not this person that negotiates that deal. It means the likes of John Mata are the same people that negotiate these deals, because if at all a different person is going to negotiate these deals, then there must be an alternation. That is it. Now, as United are pleading to Chelsea to go on and really cut the price down, Fabrizio Romano told us the following on Mason Mount, and this is the hammer blow that the transfer of Mason Mount to Man United has gone ahead to deal or to face. Chelsea don't want to sit down, negotiate for Mason Mount. It's £70 million, all nothing. That's the stance of Chelsea. Now, this shows you that Chelsea are fighting as hard to keep Mason Mount. They want to keep the player at Chelsea. They believe that maybe Pochettino might offer him a different kind of atmosphere altogether at Chelsea, to put him in a conducive environment that will convince him to stay at the club of Chelsea. But as it stands, I think Mason Mount has already made up his mind that he wants to join Man United. Now, what they've decided is to play a hard ball. Now, it's all up to Mason Mount to really do the needful, because United has £50 million to spend on Mason Mount. Now, it's all about Mason Mount to come in through and obviously tell the board, even if you keep me here for one more year, I'll walk out and go to Man United next summer on a free. those actions can only force Chelsea to see to it that they really get the cash that United is giving them. But minus Mason Mount pushing that, I don't see this happening through, because United is known for being bad at negotiations, and it's because it's United. When you look at Liverpool, they've gone ahead to land the deal of McAllister at only 45 to 50 million pounds. I understand that was the release clause, but even if the release clause was not there, I think they would have gone ahead to negotiate a very friendly fee between them and Brighton. You understand? So let me just paint a scenario. If United pull out of the Mason Mount race and maybe Arsenal comes in through, or Liverpool, do you think they'll pay 75 million pounds? Trust me, they'll go in and buy that player at 70. They go in and buy Mason Mount at 50 million pounds or 45 million pounds. For example, last summer, United was negotiating a deal for Darwin Núñez. You all know that. But United was at 100 million euros and Benfica was not willing to really take a pay cut. When Liverpool went in there, they negotiated. The deal costed 80, I think it was close to 88 million euros, and what happened was Liverpool paid 65 up front, and then the 23 will come in as add-ons. That's what we call having good negotiators. When you are going in for Cody Gakpo, we would have gone ahead to pay close to 40 or 50 million pounds, but Liverpool negotiated a deal of Cody Gakpo to 37. That's what we call negotiating business. So I think United should jog on to other midfielders, because if Mason Mount is being valued at 75 million pounds, there are other midfielders like Goretzka, there is Moise Caicedo, 75 million pounds for Mason Mount. You just add on 5 million pounds and get in Moise Caicedo, of which Moise Caicedo can do literally everything that Mason Mount can do and things that Mason Mount can't do. I think it's better we go in for Moise Caicedo. There is Ruben Neves, there is Gravenberch, there is Okunru, that guy. He has a funny name, Let me check his name here. Let me check his name. He played the captain of Feyenoord. What's his name? His name is Okun Kokyu, Okunur Kokyu, that Turkish player who really went ahead to captain the Feyenoord side to win the league of the Eredivisie. I'd rather go in for such a player. There are very many decent midfielders in the world. There is Balera, who plays for Inter Milan. Very decent player, that is really available on the market. There are very many decent midfielders that can get the job of Mason Mount done, So let's wait and see how that's going to pan out. But obviously, as we get into the Goretzka story, United cannot sign Mason Mount and West Ham's Declan Rice. It's viewed as difficult considering the finances required for everything they want this summer. Obviously, Declan Rice, 100 million pounds, Mason Mount, 50 million pounds, 150 million pounds. No way. And I'm asking myself, why should United go in for Declan Rice when there are players that can do the job of Declan Rice better? Like this other player that has been linked to Man United, known as Goretzka. Leon Goretzka is really one of those players that we've been linked to by Portugal, a very credible source coming in from Germany that really broke the news of Marcel Sabitzer to Man United. He has told us that Manchester United are monitoring Leon Goretzka's situation. They are aware that his future is uncertain, but there are no concrete talks or negotiations yet. Goretzka definitely wants to stay at Bayern Munich. Now, as Goretzka wants to stay at Bayern Munich, there is one thing that he needs to put in his no. That there is a player that has come in through to really take over his position, and that is Konrad Laimer. Fabrizio Romano confirming to us that no changes on Konrad Laimer deal. He will become FC Bayern player on a free transfer in July. Pre-contract is already signed since January. Thomas Tuchel not changing the plans as all parties just wait for FC Bayern's announcement. Now, Goretzka wants to start Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich have already gone ahead to bring in another midfielder who is really going to dislodge him out of that position. That is Konrad Laimer, because Joshua Kimmich plays as the CDM for Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich plays the system of 4-2-3-1, you know, with a double pivot. It was of Goretzka and Kimmich, then Musiala playing ahead of the two. But this time round, Konrad Laimer coming in through, obviously, is going to give Goretzka a lot of competition. I understand Goretzka had gone ahead to really play ahead of Gravenberch and Marcel Sabitzer, but the coming in of Konrad Laimer is really a different mineral or spice to be added into the meal of Bayern Munich. And with the system we know of Thomas Tuchel that he plays with, of 3 central defenders, 2 midfielders, you know, that play in the double pivot, then two wing backs, you know, and then he plays with 2 attacking midfielders and 1 center forward. That is a system of 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-3. Now, in a 3-4-3 system, I think it's going to be hard for Goretzka to get playing time at Bayern Munich. That's why he's being linked to a move away to Man United. But when you look at the story, United are monitoring his situation. He's just 27 years of age, I think. 27 years of age, not so? Right? Leon Goretzka. How old is he? He's 28 years of age, and he's really 1.89 meters, you know. He plays better as a box-to-box midfielder. He can also play as a sitting CDM. That is what he does best. He has gone ahead to play 27 games in the Bundesliga, 3 goals and 2 assists. Champions League, 9 games and 2 goals. That is Goretzka for you. So he's really a very good box-to-box player that you could really think of to bring in at Manchester United. To me, I hate it, guys. I hate it when I hear that Declan Rice is linked to Man United and we are obsessed to get in Declan Rice, you know. It really haunts me a lot because he doesn't have the quality that the club of United is calling in for. No way. On any day, I'll go for Rabiot ahead of Declan Rice. I'll go for Sofian Amrabat ahead of Declan Rice. And if at all you doubt the abilities of Sofian Amrabat, tomorrow switch on your teles, you know, and watch that UEFA Conference League finale. Fiorentina versus West Ham. Sofian Amrabat is going to be running that midfield of Fiorentina as Declan Rice is going to be running the midfield of West Ham. We are going to see who can do better. And those are 2 players that are being linked to Man United. And get some time, spare some time tomorrow, watch that game, and you'll see what Sofian Amrabat has into his locker. I think he has lots of lockers to pull out, and I think Declan Rice is limited. He's a limited kind of player, though he's so much overhyped, but I don't really rate him. That's why I think even Erik ten Hag is not obsessed to get him in, and he's telling the board of United, first get me Mason Mount before you think about Declan Rice. So I think Leon Goretzka comes in at Manchester United and fits well into this system because he can also play as a CDM. Right? He can play as a CDM, and us monitoring the situation of Goretzka is really something great. Looks like we've gone ahead to build a very good relationship with Bayern Munich after going in and getting Marcel Sabitzer on loan. And I think more stories are really going to develop as far as that story is really concerned. Let's call it quits with this story. Casemiro has gone ahead and said the following about Garnacho, revealing to us what his ceiling is going to be at Man United. He said, "We don't have to skip the steps. We know he's a great player, but he's also a great player for the next 10 years at Man United. We are sure he will be a great player here and he becomes very important to us." So Casemiro has gone ahead and anticipated the speciality of Garnacho and how great he's going to be for the club of Man United. And for the next 10 years, he's going to be one of those players that the world is going to be talking about. And you know, there are things that really make themselves, you know. I think they're just God-made, you know. I understand the ability of Mason Greenwood is far much better than that of Alejandro Garnacho. Imagine Mason Greenwood under Erik ten Hag and what he would have gone ahead to become. But he's away. We don't know the decision the board is going to take, but obviously, we all know that it's going to be hard for him to keep him at the club of Man United, and hence, players that are going to benefit is Garnacho. Garnacho looks like he's going to be the star boy of the club of Man United. I've gone ahead to issue a warning to Marcus Rashford and those that will love him a lot this season that Garnacho, going this preseason, stepping up according to how he commits himself in the final third of the pitch, trust me, he's going to really put a lot of question marks onto what Rashford offers to us when he's playing off the left attacking side of the midfield. I think that's why Erik ten Hag is really thinking of playing Marcus Rashford as a number 9 sometimes next season, because when you look at how Garnacho is coming like tsunami. You know uncontrolled waves on the leg. That's how Garnacho is coming. And next season, he's going to fight to get into the starting spot of Man United. And where does he play best? Left attacking midfield, provided he can perfect his start of the game and gives us some good 60-70 minutes. Rashford is going to be in danger, and this boy is really the star boy. He's the next big thing at the club of Man United, and I also think Amad Diallo can become that. So guys, your thoughts onto Mason Mount to United upset? What do you think about it? Do you want United to spend £75 million on Mason Mount or not? Goretzka to Man United, we are monitoring him. What do you make about us monitoring Goretzka? And lastly, let's discuss about the ceiling of Garnacho that Casemiro has gone ahead to draw. I sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God protect you. My Muslim viewers and subscribers, please, may Allah do the best that you guys want. I'm out.